down among Brazilians, coffee beans grow by the billions, so they've got to find those extra cups to fill. They've got an awful lot of coffee in Brazil.
And we get an awful lot of coffee right here, too, at WILK, 13 minutes before 7 o'clock. Mary Tully from Electric City Roasting
Hello.
is here.
What's up, guys?
Mary,
no snowstorm. I'm here. It's great.
Front page coverage in the newspaper yesterday. And that was a beautiful article about Electric City Roasting.
Thank you.
Outstanding. And the prominently featured new logo was there in the picture.
Yeah, how about it?
With the sort of bean moose head kind of a thing.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure when I saw it the first time, but now I love it. I'm really glad that we went through that process. It wasn't easy.
Kyle's motioning me about the camera. He wants to come in and beat our videographer. Kyle, you want to do that?
You don't have to ask Kyle. Just come right on in.
Sure.
I also gave him a cup of coffee, so he might be a little
He's all wired up already? Good to go.
He's wired up before you even give him that coffee.
And speaking of that logo, by the way, and I don't know, subtle or otherwise, but the antlers on the moose are an E and a C, aren't they?
Wow. Big guy.
How about
I'm impressed.
That's right.
Yes.
I took notice of that.
Yeah, that between that and the fact that the whole circle isn't complete, which, is always what we're striving to accomplish, right?
Yeah.
Closing the loop of social responsibility.
Yeah.
It looks like a coffee stain.
We've been trying to get you here in the studio for a while, but the weather has not been cooperating.
The weather has been bad on Monday morning.
You've been out of the country.
I've been out of the country, right.
Again,
I almost didn't come back. Someone said it was like, oh, Mary, it's like, I don't know, 4 below at the airport. And I'm like, really?
Yeah, I think I'd be traveling too if I were you.
Don't I have another coffee farm to go to somewhere?
Well, we were talking about it earlier. We were cheering yesterday. It was 40 degrees. Like, wow!
It was beautiful yesterday, right?
I
really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was really nice. Our roads are starting to thaw up at Music Lake.
And all the potholes are opening up. It's just
God, I was on Main Avenue, Dixon City into North Scranton on Friday night.
Right.
It's unbelievable. It's like there were never a road there.
I have to tell you, I travel some of the most craziest roads in the world, right? I mean, I really do. Sure. Sometimes I'm like, why am I doing
You're
this?
talking about mountain roads in Central America.
I'm in third world countries, and there are roads that are, just way nicer there than they are here, especially right now. Right on Wyoming
Even
Avenue.
the roads you ride the goat on to get
right?
Yeah, they're not roads, actually. They're paths, and they're actually better.
Well,
either that or the donkey. The donkey just knows where to step.
That's because they don't have somebody's cousin with the cheap asphalt contract and the freeze-thaw cycle to complicate matters. But
how about that?
I was on Kaiser Avenue yesterday. I hit a big one. It was bad.
Terrible.
Anyway, back to coffee.
Yeah, so there's the big article in the paper yesterday. So all kinds of good stuff happening at Electric City Roasting.
Yeah, absolutely. It was great to have a conversation with Dave about where we're taking the company and where I believe, I think that we ought to we want to spend our time, right? We want to dwell in that whole area of education and really pushing people to understand coffee just like they do with a whole bunch of different, whether it's beer or bourbon or food. And we just love being in that whole space right now.
Yeah.
And I think it's really working out well. From our wholesale side, we're growing significantly. So we have a whole bunch of new customers we're bringing online from the wholesale side of things.
And some big announcements to come in the weeks ahead.
Yeah, absolutely, right. Yeah,
a little bit of a tease there.
Yep.
Little tease. Just
nice.
Stay tuned.
Well, and after, again, the article that was in the paper, you mentioned Dave Falchek. The article was in the paper yesterday. My daughter, who used to work for you, is in Austin now, which is a hotbed of things that are happening.
Absolutely.
And she was like psyched to, she knows what's going on with Electric City Roasting anyway, but that you guys are really expanding to the nth degree. And she was pretty pumped about it, actually. She's like, hey, Scranton peeps, check this out. You got to, if you don't know about it already, Electric City Roasting. She was all over Facebook about it yesterday.
Yeah, thank you. And she's great. And that's what we try to focus on, that, because I think that's the next stage of what's going to propel all of our companies around here, right?
Yeah.
Is the awareness of how you're taking it to the next level. And at least that's what we want to try to do.
Well, that's the thing. And how many times have we talked about it? No matter what. I mean, people who are not availing themselves of places like Electric City Roasting, some of our local brewers as well, if they're not trying these things out, they really, honestly don't know what it is that they're missing. Yeah.
Right. And, that's okay. A lot of people don't want to get out of their comfort zone. And I kind of get that.
Yeah.
But I also think that when you're dealing with a company that really spends so much of their time on the leading edge of whatever industry they're in, sometimes you don't necessarily feel like you're out of your comfort zone when you walk into a facility like that.
Yeah.
And I would say that's a really good litmus test to have, right?
Yeah.
And so there's that side of the coin. There's always the whole idea of how we've designed our business, I think, has really taken us, has afforded us the opportunity to do what we really want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not so sure we could have done that had we taken another, a different path.
Do you ever step back just for a second mentally and think, like, this all started because you wanted better coffee? You wanted a better cup of coffee.
Yeah, it's really interesting because my husband's like, Mary, do you remember? I was like, honey, you're going to burn the house down, because I was with a heat gun in the garage, like sprinkling beans over a heat gun with a fabricated thermocouple in a wrapped piece of tinfoil. This was my first roaster.
That's pretty cool. That's neat, though.
That's
and
amazing.
after being 10 years behind the drums, at that point, I was like, you know what? I really needed to expand the business. So almost 6.5 years now, we've outsourced the roasting part of it, and so that's good too.
Yeah.
So everything's working well. I mean, look at the coffee you're drinking now.
Well, I was going to say, what are we enjoying here today?
Well, this is a brand new Colombian coffee. I'm really like this coffee. I think I had a dream, John.
Really? A fish was pulling me through the water.
Yeah, I know, but
towards a cup of coffee.
I was sharing with you that I've been in some crazy places, had dreams. I don't think I've ever been able to detail it as well as you.
I rarely get one that I remember that well, and I probably forgot 60% of it, but those were the details.
That's what we got. That's
Anyway.
what
So anyway, what do you think of this coffee? This is great, right?
It's very smooth. I
Right.
don't know. I'm not sure how that works exactly. It doesn't
Well,
feel
I
like-
think that what you're tasting, if I can step into that world for a second, is that you're appreciating the smoothness, but it's really a full-bodied coffee.
Yeah.
It's no edgy, right?
None. Not at all.
And it also has this milk chocolatey taste to it.
Yes.
Like with a little bit of nougat.
Well, it's
like if you could
smooth,
say
like
it's
creamy
Milky
almost.
Way-esque.
Okay.
Right? I don't even know if that's a word, but Milky Way-esque.
Milky Way-esque.
So I just love this coffee, but I also sense as this coffee cools, you're going to get a little sense of cola. Like,
Yeah, cool. I got
right?
that. Yes.
You got it, right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, as soon as I said it, you're like, oh, I absolutely.
Well, that's it. I mean, I haven't had a coffee like this, and you're right. Maybe that's a better description, that it's full, in that when a coffee's not full, there's something that stands out that might stand out too much.
Exactly.
And this seems like it's very balanced somehow.
This is a really balanced cup of coffee.
That's excellent.
This is a great Colombian coffee. It's a great co-op that we're using. It's from the Huila region. This is a beautiful coffee. So I'm excited. Actually, I don't even have the bag ready for this coffee yet. Like, I'm so excited. I'm like, I have to bring this on Monday. John will love this
really
coffee.
is good.
Right?
Yeah.
So we've just been playing with this. We've had it in our warehouse now for about 10 days, and so it's still a little fresh, right? So
yeah, cool. The website is www.electricityroasting.com. Big news to come
Big news to
just
come.
a week or so ahead, and we'll be all over that when it happens.
absolutely.
Mary
Right.
Telly from Electric City Roasting. Mary, always a pleasure.
Hey, see you guys.
All right.
Take care.
They've got an awful lot of coffee, an awful lot of coffee. Man, they got a gang of coffee in Brazil.
5 minutes before 7 o'clock now, the morning news with Webster.